Is a Baba. Sure. Babylon, they want to take away the ark of the covenant from you. Ark of the covenant cannot be taken away from Isababa. Respect. There is a land far, far away. It's called Addis Ababa. You may not say there is a land far, far away. It's called Addis Ababa. Kings of kings and Lord of lords, we are a creation. His name is King Selassie. Mussolini tried to invade Ethiopia, but he conquered. His name is King Selassie. Rule and respect. There is a land far, far away. It's called Addis Ababa. Start with I am saying, there is a land far, far away. It's called Addis Ababa. Wonders of the world, the great river Nile is found there in Africa. The great truth of Axiom of Zion. Okay, welcome to the Focal Point. My name is K. Lyndon Tuba, and was a warm welcome this beautiful, this beautiful evening hour. It's good to be back here after a long week. My name is K. Lyndon Tuba, your regular host of the program, The Focal Point on Focal Online TV. This is the pride of District team, and I'm very, very much excited to be here, especially on this very beautiful weather atmospheric condition. So on yesterday, I was invited at an occasion where a political group called Friends of T. Nathan Gallo Jr. The focal person was the one who invited our media institution there. So we went there purposely to do our work. And there were a whole lot of people who went there. The actual activity started on the 22nd of July, and yesterday was the closure. So there were two teams that emerged victorious. Those two teams were the Nigerian shop community and the Central New Jersey Estate, as per the way the organizers partitioned the various communities. So there were 8 communities that were actually participating from the start of the tournament up to yesterday activity. So why do I have to flag this on this platform? Is because the way people believe to be from the Nigerian shop community were behaving was very, 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 very unfair. Was very, very, very unfair. And I think that their community leadership need to condemn their behavior in the strongest term. They were throwing stones at peaceful people, peaceful citizens who went there to get a gaze of the kind of amusement that was actually going on, because globally it has been proven that sport is one of the effective tools one can use to unite the people, aside from politics. But this is one of the most important tools people normally use to bring people together, to amuse. So Nigerian shop 90 minutes of active playing on the football field. The game ended up into a penalty kick out. And even before they could even start kicking the penalty, the Nigerian residents believed to be, or people believed to be from the Nigerian shop area, were throwing stones at the other community, and that was totally unfair. The organizer was even disappointed with the form and manner in which they were proceeding. Those who were invited, those national stakeholders that were invited, they were very afraid. They were very afraid. Why should Gunnersville at all times be in the news for the wrong reason? Why should Gunnersville? Because what they did yesterday has a tendency of painting the image of those living in Gunnersville as very bad. So that was very, very bad. The guy even got disappointed. Honorable T. Nixon Gallo even got disappointed. He said all sort of things that he was never to say, but I knew that he was under the influence of disappointment. So this is just a caution to the people. There are a lot of good people in Nigerian shop community, and I want to believe. So the few bad people shouldn't get involved or shouldn't be mixed with the bad people that live in, with the good people that live in that particular area. What happened yesterday was very bad. They were throwing stones that people have to be running. Helter scatter, journalists were being harassed. That was totally unfair. And this shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It should be condemned. I think the friends of T. Nixon Gallo will have to speak to that, because that was totally unfair. You understand? So we will wind down on the curtain quickly and rumble into the issue. So on today's edition, exclusively, we'll be paying host to a very big member of the Unity Party, the opposition Unity Party. His name is Bill Dzer Said. He happens to be the Assistant Secretary for Planning Programs and Policy. So he will be our guest very shortly. So we just thought to introduce how the platform will look like on today. So we will now ask our producer to usher him. But before then, we will take a very short break. When we return, our guest will be
Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world. Focal TV, with check and balance, we break it as it unfolds. Focal TV, bringing you face to face with newsmakers in town. Focal TV, the best online platform in broadcasting. Focal TV, located at Topo Village, Somalia Drive, Liberia. Be the part and experience the best in online broadcasting. Keep Focal.
So the man by the name Bill has just walked in our studio very shortly. So the man by the name of Bill has just walked into our studio. He is comfortably seated. But he is making some adjustments. So by the time he makes those adjustments, we will ask our producer to place him on our camera So I was just commenting on the situations, the very sad situation that took place in at the Nigerian Shout Sport page. Uh, it was an occasion on yesterday where two communities were meant to peaceably organize themselves and have a very peaceful occasion. But people believe to be from the Nigerian shop term the whole team the opposite. They turned the whole thing the opposite. That was totally unfair. That was totally disgusting for us to experience that. Uh, but that was how it went, and there were a lot of people who got hurt in the process. There were a lot of people who got hurt in the process. I think my own advice to any political movement or organization who wants to organize similar program, it is all important that you invite the national security so that they can be in the know of it to avoid the similar situations that occurred on yesterday. So, so with that being said, the man by the name of Bill DZ Said, a ranking member of the opposition Unity Party, is comfortably seated in our studio, and we will be discussing of the state of Liberia, and we will also transition into this platform, the Unity Party People's Platform, and that is intended to rescue Liberia because they came up with an acronym called ARREST. So we will be we'll be looking into that particular manifesto. So it is all important that we make every necessary adjustment as possible to be able to. So, good day, Bill. How are you, Chief?
Thank you very much. I'm good, Dr. Tupa, and also to my dear brother Semi.
So can you please make further adjustment to the microphone because there are lots of people who are watching you and will be eager to hear what you are saying. Okay.
Yeah, I said good evening again, Brother Tupa, and good evening to my dear brother Steny, as well as to our many listeners and people who are also finding the show through the social media and other platforms the show is producing. And also to all of our rescue members out there, I want to say good evening.
So how is the Unity Party, by the way?
The Unity Party is doing good. We are focused on rescuing this country. Like our Stella Barrow is always saying, it is not about the Unity Party, it is not about the Stella Barrow itself. It's about the life that the Liberian people deserve and what can we do to be able to change that condition that they are in now to a better one. That's what we're focusing on now.
That's what you guys are focusing on.
Sure.
The reason why I asked you how is the Unity Party, by the way, is because we all know that we are into a very heated political season, 2023, and I want you to give us a little light on how the Unity Party is mounting pressures to ensure that they can be able to rescue the country.
The issue is that, like I said, we are doing everything possible to ensure that this country is rescued from the state that it's in now, especially where most of our national leaders, their only motive is to enrich themselves, where they want to live on the national cover. So we are saying no. The only way to rescue this country is to get to the people. So we are ensuring that's the reason why we are here today, to pass a message on to our people. Because it is our people that we are fitting. It is not the people who loot it up there. Because for us, we know we have few months to the election, and to rescue this country, it requires us not just a pressure. We are not creating pressure, but we are passing the message on to our people, so our people can be aware of what happened, and that's why we are here today.
So our people can. So let's transition into national politics. Then before we place a spotlight on the arrest manifesto that has been engineered by folks within the Unity Party, and they believe that that platform is the most suitable platform in the wake of rescuing Liberia. So how do you perceive, as a ranking member of the Unity Party, how do you perceive the WLA administration of taking into consideration the issues about educations, the issues about employment, the issues about securities, and you name them. So how do you grade the WLA administrations?
First of all, serving as Assistant Secretary General for Program Policy of the Unity Party National Youth League, what I can tell you is that Joey administration has failed in every sector of our country. We will start with the young people. When we took over power, the Unity Party took over power in 2006, right after the war. What we did was to rehabilitate. The first thing we disarmed the young people, as well as other people that were involved into the war.
Was it Unity Party who was involved into that?
It was Unity Party government, but then it was Unity Party government, and we were not people that was in the interest of the people who were going to war. But our focus was to rehabilitate the people that mind were already disabused through taking drugs and other stuff. We put stop to the importation of drugs in this country because drugs are being given to our young people. That's what made them to get in on the street. Most of the people that fought in the war, they were taking drugs. They were not normal.
So one could ask the question: wasn't drugs in existence? But you want to use it as though President Weah was the one who invented this issue, or the Weah administration was the one who invented this situation?
Thank you. We are not saying there was no drugs.
Mm-hmm.
What we are saying, when we came to power,
Mm-hmm.
we try to put stop to it. We try to minimize it. Even poverty exists in America.
So what were some of the
I
emphasis the Unity Party placed on the issues about mitigating the smuggling of drugs into the country? I want to hear that from you.
So first,
Mm-hmm.
let me give that clarity on the issue of how young people were being reintegrated into the society. After the war, we disarmed the people of Liberia. After the honor administration, what we brought in was vocational school for young people to go to be able to earn. After young people begin to learn all across the country, where we open vocational school across the country, we have to revamp the education system of our country. Churches are renovating existing governmental institutions as well as private institutions, as well as constructing new high school, vocational school, community colleges, and even the construction of the University of Liberia new building, what we call Chinese building. After the Unity Party did that, the next thing we did was the youth employment program. We introduced the young people program that will be able to go and answer for themselves. So in that, it created means for someone to be able to answer on their own. You couldn't find the way the criminal activities in our country have become rampant. The way drugs in this country is rampant, that everywhere you can see drugs, how many people in it was under Unity Party administration. We are not saying there was no existence of drugs, but if drugs exist, it was at a pace that you could even notice drugs exist. People are doing healing because of the kind of system we have. What is the system? We talk about the security system that we put into place. For instance, when we took power, we knew that this country was at war. So there were no existing security protocol or security apparatus or security institutions that were functional. So through the negotiation that we have with our international partners, we created other security agencies. For instance, under LMP, we have to create the emergency response unit, PSU. We have to create the PSU, the ERU, the emergency response unit, even the Liberia Immigration Service,
but
the armed forces of Liberia.
One could say that one of the reasons why the Unity Party-led government were involved into all of those things is because they were actually receiving the very high flow of donations from international partners and other institutions. What's your reaction to this?
So the first thing is that before someone gave you a cent, they will trust you. Even if they gave the first
So do you see a confidence crisis within that? The WLA government is struggling with a confidence crisis.
Surely. Now the confidence crisis, people have lost total confidence in this government. That's why the people are suffering. If you can remember in 2018, right after Georgia took power, 16 billion got missing. How do you know? But then the information minister usually now confirmed it on VOA and BBC. It was played across the country. So these are international stations that are while listening all across the world. So that was the first one. The second one was the COVID-19 relief article package that should have been going to Liberians that were not working. That money disappeared. Now that the mobile SSI resources 25 million.
But
All of those.
you as a Liberian, do you believe that it was? Do you believe that it was the Unity Party government that engineered the disappearance of the alleged 16 billion?
How would I say it is a Unity Party government? Unity Party
No,
government,
the we-are-led government. I meant to say the we-are-led government, Chief.
But they didn't say, confirm it. The official spokesperson for the government, Eugene Nagbe, said, yes, 16 billion get missing. And Front Page Africa published a receipt online as well in a newspaper. So these are evidences that can say, yes, it is true. On this government, 16 billion get missing. We are not the one that said it. The government spokesperson said it clearly. And the receipt, when the money arrived at the Freeport Memorial, was published on Front Page Africa. So these are clear evidence that, yes, it can create a means for international panel if it trust you. That's the reason why the government, like your current honor president, we had lost international trust. So as a result of that, they cannot get anything. And now that the little one that have been raising through domestic revenue, those amount that they've been raising for the budget, we cannot see it. What have they done with that resources?
But the real-led administrations brag of the issues about being able to significantly increase the budget, the status where the Unity Party government left it up to a very impressive status. What's your take on that particular issue? The GDP of our country.
So let's look at the budget. Talk about the budget first. Let's look at the budget. When Unity Party took over in 2006, we have a transitional government that was operating on 80 million USD budget. From 2006 to 2011, we have raised a budget from 80 million to 600 million. Until the COVID-19 came in our second term, until the COVID-19 came, the budget went down to 500 million. Same president, we have took over from 2018 to 2023. That is exactly almost the same time the Party took over from 2016, from 2006 to 2011. What have been the raise in the budget? From president, we have made a budget at 600 million. It has just gone to 700 million. That's 100 million.
It is almost $1 billion now.
700 million is that almost $1 billion.
Almost $1 billion.
But what we are going to say is that it just added 100 million difference. Nothing have been added. So see the difference. Okay, let's so even the resources that are collected, that budget they have raised. What is the impact on the people? The president took over, he collected that amount of money for the past 5 years. Okay, that is when you really partly secure most of the funding for the roads project that's ongoing across the country. What have been the impact of the money that president we have raised? The only thing we know is that the president has reduced significantly the amount that should be paid to civil servants. And somebody will make it, the president reduce it. As a result of that, now most of our people cannot afford to maintain a home. That's the reason why they're suffering the economy too much.
So do you, almost all of the hardship in the country, do you attribute it to the real-led administration?
The increasing hardship is allocated to president we administration. Why? Because you are not done anything to, for instance, the president keep most of the companies that will bring into this country, then the concession company that somebody can do exploration, somebody can do basic camera study, and all that kind of stuff. Somebody left when they didn't find it, favorable to do that business in this country. Somebody remediate, they start a business, and somebody doing mining article operation, somebody do different article operation in this country, or business activities in this country. One president we are keeping due to the activities of this government, where most of that revenue, all that money they bring from out, they put into the bank. The president, through summer 12 will go and take the money and use it for different purposes. When the people ask, because they don't have authority in this country, they will not get the needed address. So as a result of that, most of the businesses are pulling back.
You being a Liberian, aside from your position you hold within the Unity Party, you being a Liberian, is there anything that you wish to applaud the real-led government for since they took over in 2018 up to present? Judging from every other sectors they have made impact. The issues about education, the issues about the road connectivity, the issues about revamping the fishery sector that is being controlled by Emma Miata Glass Schools and other key sectors. Which one of the sectors do you, as a Liberian, aside from your position, because when you are under a political angle, when you are under the opposition influence, you don't say, you don't think to commend, or you don't intend to commend those who are ruling the state of the nations now. So, which one of the sectors do you?
So thank you. For some of the sectors, I can say, President, where I don't well is by creating job for the young people through many cells. Because every community they go there, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That's the only job you have done for us. And which I can tell you today, most of our young people are driving for school there. That's the only person they're doing now. That's the only thing I know here.
So what's about the issues about the tuition-free policies at the University of Liberia?
Tuition-free policy?
Yeah, tuition-free policy.
Tuition of the University of Liberia students? Let's assume every semester our students at the University of Liberia will have about 10,000 or 15,000 students enrolling every semester. If you do your calculation well, it will not pass by 1.5 million USA. Under the previous United Party government, we were supported through budgetary allocation.
But do you believe that these issues about tuition-free policy is very important?
Okay. We were giving, the United Party government was giving the University of Liberia 19 million every year. Every budget year, 19 million USA. President Waki dropped it to 12 million. 12 million. Then he said tuition free. How do you expect the University of Liberia to operate? That's the reason why every year the University of Liberia operates for one semester. So what's your
overview about the tuition-free policy? Was it intended to mitigate a particular tension that was in existence at the time?
Yes. That was the tension. Exactly. And what was the tension? After President Weah, government official, the official spokesperson in the country said that yes, 16 billion has getting mission on our government leadership. The tension across the country was high. There was insecurity everywhere across the country. Even when the president went at the University of Liberia, meet capital to address the students on some other issue, which have nothing to do with tuition-free pronouncement, he knew that he spent almost 30 minutes in line. While the student was saying, "Remember not enter the campus. The president not enter. The president not enter." There was a serious protest on the campus because of the missing 16 billion. So to reduce the tension across the country, the president, without any consultation to the various universities and colleges across the country, a government institution, without consultation to the leadership or administrative institution, he said, "Yes, tuition free, tuition free, tuition free." Today, the impact of that on the University of Liberia is huge. As a result of that, every year university can only afford to host one semester. There'll be a delay from the beginning. There'll be a delay from the starting. There'll be a delay from the beginning. There'll be a delay from the ending. There'll be a delay in your graduation. At the end of that whole year, you will observe that there's only a single semester.
So very wrong. What do you attribute? How do you attribute the poor performance and that of the challenge faced by the university? What's your attribution? What do you connect it to?
What I can connect to simple is a poor leadership for this country, and that's what we want to change to rescue this country. The poor leadership from the executive marshal, a very poor leadership. Because if the president, the head of the country, cannot manage everything well, it means that it will extend to all other institutions under the government. Not only the government, even to the private sector. Today, now the University of Liberia has become worse. Almost every sector of our country is at standstill. Nothing is working in our country. The health system is down. You go to the Ministry of Youth and Sport, nothing. As you are aware, the country cannot go for international friendly league now because they say no money.
But you complain that our health system is bad. Our health system, everything you have said so far so good. You claim that it is done. But few months ago, we witnessed the dedications of the Embry Hospital. But you are here referencing that our health system is bad. What's your take? How do you view the dedication of the Embry Hospital that was constructed quite recently by under the Weah-led administration?
We want to appreciate our brothers from the Sudan Arabia who did the donation. We want to say that it's a donation, but we don't want to say building a structure means that it is wealthy. Even the University of all the structure that was built by the United Party, when we go to the Chinese building, we build it. Even the new chocolate that is being built, that is being now operated by the students from the pharmacy and our medical college that is being operated by them, we build it. But what is most important is that building a hospital in Bapu is important for us. Not only that, but having something there that people be able to use. If you go and build an area, no medicine. When the people go to buy, even pin tablet to all of the clinics across the country, they say no printer. Tell you pin tablet. There was more when somebody go for all medicine, very cardinal. And the Ministry of Health have more than 80 million budget. Where is the money going? As we are aware, recently we're in Kakata, my DB country. There was an investigation that for most of the people in Kohu, they will say they're getting this. At the end of the day, nothing comes from there. They take the money and put it in that.
But there is similar situations of corruptions on the former Unity Party government happen.
Yeah, we acknowledge that. There's a difference between corruption and taking what belongs to the people in your pocket now. This government is not corrupting.
So
they are taking everything now for us into their pocket now. That's the reason you cannot see anything anywhere. So how do you expect us to say that there's a corruption? You cannot. Why they should we acknowledge that, like I said, previously the issue of jobs. Even on a Unity Party government, we have those things that were inhaled. People were smuggling on that. But tell you, man, under this government, you have 40 million worth of jobs like him. No one here accountable. You have 100 million worth of jobs like him in this country. No one will here accountable. In fact, our national budget had to contribute 175,000 to the people who were here at first, who were detained, to get and say, you go back. We don't know what to do. How can 100 million worth of jobs enter into this country that are out of the security system? You cannot find a single person who did it.
So what signal does this send to our international allies?
So like what I'm saying, for the initial state, that this government has lost international trust. That's the reason why you see every set of our government have been broken down. And the only solution to it is to change this country system by breaking the rescue mission thing. And that is being headed by Ambassador Joseph Imam-Bouaka, co-headed by Honorable Senator and incoming Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Jeremiah Kpaku.
You sound so confident about the rescue mission of winning the trust of the Liberian people ahead of the elections, which is slated for October 10th. What is this issues about your confidence?
The issue of my confidence is that I'm a young man. As a young man, you have to contribute towards the fatherland. So to do that, you have to sacrifice everything that you know for your country first. And that's the reason why we are taking the lead. That's the reason you see in the public everywhere. We are going everywhere to ensure that this rescue mission, the messages for the rescue mission reach to the people. So to tell you, one of the reasons that made you somewhat confident is that the song of our people is everywhere. It's vivid. It's clear. My brother, it's clear. And there are so many reasons when you talk about, for instance, our platform that we talk about the arrest, right? The arrest. We want to tell you there are so many reasons why we talk about that. And we'll be explaining that individually. But first of all, you as you are aware, people who selling everywhere, no one is buying. Because if you don't have, how will you buy? When you don't have people who buy, scratch card, put in the phone 3 days and call. When the president came, the say, I talk about job creation for the young people. So let me call up that the 3 days so I can create minutes. When you go, when you sell it in the net, somebody will be having behind the door. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 100 minutes, lose 10 minutes, everywhere you go.
So what do you think is responsible for that?
Poverty. The poverty that have been destroyed to our people. The poverty that have been brought onto our people by the BI regime. That's what I want to get it out and bring in the rescue mission so we can change the livelihood of our people for the better of this country.
All right, let's transition into the eternity of the Unity Party. You have a political leader who was former vice president of the Republic of Liberia, and a lot of Liberians do not doubt his ability to lead the countries. But one of the things they often complain of is that he doesn't have the leverage of the age in his favor. How do you in the Unity Party look at those particular reactions coming from Liberians residing in Liberia and even some Liberians in the diaspora?
So what I can tell you is that everywhere you go across the country, the people know that at this point, the age of our Senator, Ambassador Joseph Imam-Bouaka, who speaks soundly, who knows his past, and who knows where he is going.
Do you think that the Liberian people is subscribing to the issues about eloquence?
It is not about eloquence. It is about the intelligence. Because if you talk about age, they want to tell me that the person intelligence is declining. So if somebody we want to consider age issue to be an issue, that's not an issue. Because for instance, the man he knows somebody who is 50 cannot remember who was senator or Senate Pro-Tem during his time. Call the different person name. The person was the current Senate Pro-Tem. He called the person New Year and nationwide program. There was a man who he say he at the age, but remember everything from the past to the present, and you know where the brother is going. Who is planning for the future of our country? Who say, okay, I want to contribute before maybe I retire from politics. They suffer our people. The people say, there's a man one. This man rock have been clean throughout. This man serving every public sector. He said, there's 1 billion to me. That's all day. The other 1 billion, they go to the people. They are being record throughout. They talk about age. They talk about old people, get all kind of stuff. If you say that, we agree. But the man speaks soundly. He does everything soundly. And the man is preaching for the interest of our people. We are not looking at people that are in opposition, that they don't know what they were not planning. For us, we are clear. And he said every time he say, it is not just about us. We have a plan to know what we're going to do when we take power to for the people. And that's what we are planning.
Okay, let's look at this particular thing. And I think we need a very honest opinion from you on this particular matter. In 2017, right after we went through the elections in which George Weah became the president of Liberia, Unity Party was down the drain. In terms of repositioning their reputation as a party to even win the admirations of the Liberian people. So Unity Party, it was obvious that the Unity Party was down the drain. It was down the drain. It had to seek collaboration with the ALP, the ANC, and now they from every look now, almost all of the people who Unity Party ever entered into collaborations with have left Unity Party. Do you think that the Unity Party is bothered by those, by the way people have parted? Then do you think that the Unity Party is bothered, especially the likes of Henry Costard, who once canvassed very vigorously for Unity Party, and he even went as far as creating many enemies for himself in defense of the Unity Party? Are you bothered by the separation of Henry Costard in particular?
So let me say something clear to you first. If you say Unity Party was down the dream, if all down the line, I don't understand what you mean by that. Because we say from historical point or from record data. In the first round of 2017 election, Unity Party got 450,000 votes, 450,000 plus votes. CDC got 590,000 votes, a difference less than 150,000. In the second round, there was no much difference. So, okay, for instance, talk about Henry Costard. Henry Costard campaign heavily against Unity Party in the first round. With all that, was taken at the top, the second highest. So, I don't mean where you say that. Okay, for instance, let's look at in 2017, people that we did not collaborate with, that not collaborating with us. And look at plus, let's look at the percentage. For instance, in the first round, we know that Mr. Cummings got 7% in 2017, which is around 102,000 or 100 something thousand and that. It's not supporting, we don't have issue with that. Though we will collaborate and we respect the opinion of his time with us. Talk about Costard and Mr. Yuri. As we speak now, Costard capping up against us. And Costard that people know the kind of person he is now. People don't take it serious. Even if you go to CDC, people not taking it serious.
So you come.
I come in. So even in the ALP is not divided, right? ALP is not divided. Most of the people coming to us. So they get to the two second to us, like the ALP as the Liberty Party,
the Liberty Party,
like the MDR. Do you know that MDR can tell?
Yeah, I know that the MDR came to
MDR is supporting us. Now that the Liberty Party faction that have the constituencies, is supporting us. So how will you say people? We know we respect everybody in political areas. Some people when they get a personal agenda and you do not want to compromise the interest of the people with a personal agenda, you just have to let them go. So that's the issue. So but we are not there. Have an issue with that. We're not kind of somebody say because you don't be the vice president and somebody who couldn't win even a presidency in District 6, who then can serve or 10. I think they should appoint the vice president in less than 6 years. So that is if you do that, people not trusting you. So
are you indirectly saying that Costard purpose of supporting GMB at the time was aimed at becoming or occupy the vice running mate slot? And are you saying that?
His own action is saying that. I mean, his own action. You know that the brother recently told us that the best, if I would have all the evidence you are aware fully well. He said the best ticket is what? Waka. How can you come back because you say you want to be viral running to the popular way of the people? Because that's the only alternative for the people now everywhere across the country. Everybody looking at it as a president. Because everybody are tired of suffering. My brother, people are tired of suffering in this country. So the only alternative they are saying now is Ambassador Waka. So you want to round the world of people behind the scene so we can get tomorrow you start giving that same people private. We say no. The will of the people must be respected. What the people want, you must be able to get hold of them.
So when did you people in the Unity Party realize that Costard was very unstable in his political game?
We are not the one that realize it. You people, the other people are realizing. Everybody realize.
But at one point in time, the Unity Party allowed Costard to be almost like a chief strategist within their party. He was the one making reflecting the decisions and will and aspiration of the people, folks in the Unity Party.
So let me make something clear to you that I'm not here to discuss about Costa. What I can tell you clearly here is keen to talk about why Unity Party is aspiring for the Liberian people and our focus on the rescue mission. So the issue of Costa is irrelevant for me to take my time discussing because he is not bringing anything on the table. Why would I take my time to discussing? So let's get to the issue of how we can improve the livelihood of people, the field leadership of President Weah, and how he and Cahoots, they have been looting our country for the past 5 years, that we are not seeing anything for the over 600 million he has raised for the past 5 years into this country. That's our focus. So let's get to that issue and forget about the issue of...
Bobo, one of the reasons why we need to touch base on that particular issue is the fact that in the runoff, the Unity Party will definitely need other like-minded opposition people to still collaborate. So the issues about Herman Costard still having a very cordial relationship with Herman Costard is very important. I believe that you are in the know of that.
Every Liberian are important to the rescue mission. Even people resigning from CDC, when they see that CDC government, the way certain people in the CDC government have proceeded, because no days for fact, out of 100% CDC, we expect that we know there are few there who were working there. We know that they did not do the same thing at other party and are joining us. So every Liberian are important on the rescue mission. So including the person discussing, right? So we are opening up. Here we come. We were accepting, but the choice is what now matters.
So, okay, let's talk a little bit about what triggered you being an executive member in the Unity Party, the opposition Unity Party, and what do you think? Even though the decision has already been made by the political leader, a man who you should show so level of support for, so much support for, what do you believe could have triggered the decision of Jeremiah Kung's selection as a running mate to Ambassador Joseph Nyoma Boaka? What did Joseph Nyoma Boaka see in Jeremiah Kung, for which of course he said, yes, this is the man who is best suited to be my running mate?
There are so many factors. The first thing is Arokun has shown that the people of Nema trust him. The people of Nema trust him. That's the first thing. I said there are several factors. I'm trying to name a few. Let me start my point. Let me tell you something. There's a man who started as a representative. In fact, he started as a baseline man. From baseline man, he contested as a representative. He won the first time. The second time when he contested, he won again. He did not end the term. The people said one of his senators. He did not stop there. He contested as a senator and he won. Now, the first thing when you know as somebody who is a leader, the people must trust you. If the people cannot trust you, it means you are not a leader. That's a five category. That's a five criteria to be a leader. So the man has shown that the people trust him. So our Senate Bureau, Ambassador Joseph Nyoma Boaka said, oh yes, this young man grew up from being a representative to being a senator. I think the people trust him. Every 10 years, he's going up. The man was a representative, he turned to that end with the employee as a senator. Now, if I can have a vibe running, they tell you, hey, what people say you laughing? Because the people trust him. Go back. The first thing, they are cutting out responsibility of a representative or senators. And he has been performing. That's why the people are letting him. So I'm from Nema too. If you go to Nema, he has a mark every area in Nema. He has a mark there. He donates to the people when they are in need. And that's an oversight When you know all your people, when they're in need, you help them. When you help them, they will now know that yes, they person is a leader. For instance, if there is a parent, for instance, to build a school in your community, and that school or that capital under the national budget, and you as a senator, you have the ability to go lobby. That's where people make it representative, right? You go in lobby with people outside the country. They gave you something. You can donate to 2-3 times this month. The next one you donate 2-3 times. Every time you do that, the people back you. So the people build confidence in you. That's why the people have been able to build that confidence in Senator Jeremiah Kpakum. And today, he has been given an opportunity to continue to excel to that level.
All right, that's why the people has decided to build the trust in Jeremiah Kpakum, and he believes that Jeremiah Kpakum is one of the person, or is the best suited person to fill the running mate slot to Ambassador Joseph Juma Boakai. The decision has already been made, so we are in conversation with an executive member of the Opposition Unity Party, Bill DZC, and he happens to be the Assistant Secretary for Planning, Program, and Policy of the Youth Congress of Unity Party. So, folks, we are in conversation with him, and we have been commenting on several national issues, and we are currently within the cycle of Unity Party, assessing the chances of Unity parties to win the presidency. And we have been talking on other critical national issues. You can place your call with the number scrolling down the screen, but better still, the number to call is 0770 13 13 18. I repeat, 0770 13 13 18. You can place your call to us and we will bring you live on our network. You can call to participate, or better still, you can insert your comments in our comment sections and we will definitely read out the comment to you. So back to Bill. Bill, the decision that has been made, we understand that a segment of the Liberty Party that is controlled by Senator Youngblade Kanka Lawrence is definitely subscribing with the rescue train. Do you think that with the inclusion or with the partnership shown so far by Youngblade Kanka Lawrence, Senator Youngblade Kanka Lawrence, you people will definitely accumulate more votes from the Basel Belt, comprising of Hello caller. Hello caller. Hello caller.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Chief. Your name and where are you calling from, Chief?
Okay, my name is Rufus Divine Brooks Jr. and I call from the compounds of Prime Communications Networking Incorporated, just right beneath the U.S. Embassy in Monrovia. So I literally followed the conversation at the later part of the middle of the conversation. I followed it, and to be very frank with you, Bill articulated well with all of the issues relating to Unity Party. But this is a question that the host did not ask Bill to. I want to ask him.
Mm-hmm.
And concerning the Unity Party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, Chief. He is listening.
So now we are looking at the pending 2023 elections that is nearing already, October 10th, and election campaign kickoff probably the 4th of August. So I can see we're already in August. So what are the methodology that a Unity Party is putting in place in terms of working with youth, the disadvantaged youth, and working with the old folks, those who lost their husbands, their wives. What are those methods that they are putting in place, excluding their regular campaign messages that they will preach, and they have started preaching already? What are some of the methods for those disadvantaged youth? Do we consider as disadvantaged youth in Liberia? What are some of the methodology that will be put in place for them? That's my question there.
All right, thank you for calling, Chief.
You're welcome, Chief.
All right. So, Bill, I think you got his question, He said his name is Rufus Devan Brooks. He calls from Benson Street, from the headquarters of Prime Communication. He said, what is the method the Unity Party folks will be using to get on board the disadvantaged youth, those people who lost those women who lost their husbands? What are the methods that the Unity Party people will be using to attract all of those people? Because these people are very essential in this electionary process. As you are saying that you want to rescue Liberia.
Thank you very much. Let me say thanks to the dear brother from Benson Street who placed a call in. The issue of the disadvantaged youth, I think Unity Party has a credit for that. From the war in 2006, the war in Kinopa in 2006, we did that before. And we are aware. That's the reason why the youth policy and program that we are planning, we are going to include that. We know that the kind of stuff that's ongoing now, the importation of kush into this country, 100 million, 40 million of kush that is killing our young people across the country is almost like the water. That's no different from what is happening in the water. In fact, the water, the population had today was under that. But the population have now is too much. So the first thing is that we are going to rehabilitate the young people across the country.
You are going to rehabilitate them.
We are going to rehabilitate them, reintegrate them. There's a difference between rehabilitation and reintegration.
I do understand.
So we are going to do that. That's our number one priority. And we are not going to do a rehabilitation and reintegration. We are going to put stop to every single inch of our country interest to not import any drugs into this country.
So, but don't you believe that with the recent passage of the drug law is going to mitigate or perhaps eliminate the smuggling of drugs in the country, the normal situation we have been experiencing? Don't you believe that?
Let me tell you one thing. I want to appreciate the fact that the drug law has been passed. I know what the president has signed it, but the first thing is that there are so many laws in the country. The president has abandoned all. The president respect our constitution without the law, without our policy making law. The president respect our constitution.
So what are some of the disrespect the president has shown? What are some of the disrespect? Because I think that words is very harsh. What are some of the disrespect the president has shown to our constitution so far that you say the president don't respect that our constitution?
Thank you. According to our law, after everything, you should have a censor on a democratic process. In 2018, before Unity Party could leave on power, all of the mechanisms were put into place to have our censor in 2018. When the president we are keen, because they needed money, all of them were just going for the money, the money are allocated, all of them go until there was no money left in their account. Today, when they will have the censor, when last year, right, 2022, has the result been published?
The result hasn't been published yet.
So that's a fight.
But I think the folks who have been tasked with that responsibility is doing everything possible to ensure that the result get published.
What folks? Is that the same people that they signed one of them for corruption saga, and the same people to go and break and sue, how they call small event to this small event, they have been closed all across the country? Why folks? So what we want to say that is the person who preside our latest role is somewhere to control the resources, the money of our country. He control the finances of our country.
So do you believe that the closure of Spoon FM was politically manipulated? Do you believe that?
Politically manipulated. In fact, it was engineered by the president. It was engineered by the president because the president doesn't want independent institution. The way I've been doing our campaign office opening. So first, let me clarify our brother issue. Like I said previously, we'll do rehabilitation and reintegration, and also treat those people. We'll not just reintegrate them. We'll reintegrate them to make sure that they can develop insulin on their own.
So what are you actually waiting for? Because a lot of people may be concerned. What are you waiting for? Because every other thing we are talking about is in the future. What are you waiting for? Or does the Unity Party have a history, aside from being in government, that they have been involved with the rehabilitations of youth, the reintegrations of those who are, those who have gone wayward?
What we are waiting for is what other people waiting for. When you are in government, when you control the state resources, it is state resources that you use to run a service to your people. So, for instance, in our capacity, individual citizen, we might go out and lobby. The what Senator Darrell Taylor has done. He rebuilt the rehabilitation center. As you can see, recently he treated most of the people who are rehabilitated, reintegrated into society. That's what we are doing individually as a supporter of the rescue mission. But then if we get to our government where we control the state resources, we knew say that we did it in 2006 up to 2011. So if for instance to build a rehabilitation center, rehabilitation was in a country before. If you go to beyond Dubai, get rehab. If you go on almost everywhere get rehab, right? This is a rehabilitation center. We are going to build new one to rehabilitate our people. So for instance, I always say people who take the state cover money, who take money from the state cover and use it for their personal purpose, if you are found guilty, we seize the property and rehabilitate the people that is deprived of their resources, that is deprived of their state benefit. We take your property and use it to rehabilitate them in. It's actually happening all around the world. To fight corruption, you got to show the fact is that if you come to government, your interest is not to get rich. If you are individual citizen and you're making what government give you as a salary, they should be able to sustain you. It shouldn't surprise and go to what billions of the people take and use it for your personal enrichment. So the first thing you got to reduce your appetite. And so reduce your appetite means that you cannot have the ambition that I want to build 5 houses before I leave on a position. Then that you're not focused on what you're being given as your salary. You focus on what you are seeing and what intended for the people you focus on, and use it to enrich yourself. And we'll notice, and we'll come up how we do audit and know that it is true that this person did this. You are going to pay. You are going to feel the penalty of that.
So let's get to the comment section because there are other people who are watching along with us and they sometimes post their comments there. Before we move to that particular step, we will first of all begin to acknowledge those who are closely watching with us. Andy Brooklyn Jalai, he said, we are following from 30th Street. S. Amos Tama, monitoring from Sambo A Community District 18. Jenkins Toy, following from 20th Street Single. Rufus Divine Brooks, Alex Blambo, following from Battery Factory Plainfield. Rufus Divine Brooks, okay. Rufus posted another question again. He said, in your earlier response about the questions about the closure of Spoon FM, do you have any sources that you want to convince to the public that yes, indeed, the closure of Spoon FM was being politically manipulated?
So, okay, first, before I get to that, recently, when we appeared at one of the intellectual center in District 6, along with our National Youth Chairman Melvin Toka Silva, we lamented all of the issues. One of the facts is that you saying that in your own court document, in the court document, it says that you should invite the people and close Spoon that way. I mean, close the office of Spoon. The next is to close the offices. So why we go close LRB 24, the former LRB 24, they call it Fabric FM. Why we go close all of that station? Besides that, who is the person involved? Wilmot Smith. There's a same Wilmot Smith who there's a documentary on him everywhere across the country. And he was collecting money from the government account. That's the reason why Wilmot Smith, who was acting after the Director General left from Legis. That's when he.
But it was actually a court.
Williams.
It was actually a court process, and Wilmot Smith and the management of Spoon, the lawyer representing the legal affairs of Stanton Witherspoon, they entered, and the court ruled that Stanton Witherspoon was formed for committing libel and slander. So don't you believe that it was just a honest opinion from the court?
What did the court tell the sheriff to do?
To lock the offices of belonging to Stanton Witherspoon. To
lock it, right? Did they say more closer? Is that there's a difference between locking office and closing down the session? Why did you go? It's in fact Spoon FM. Because for instance, Fabric FM is incorporated differently from Spoon FM. They are not relaying Spoon activities. Why should you go close down Fabric FM? If there was no engineering or there was no political engineer of the whole situation. So our point here is that Wilmot Smith is now the corrupt operator of the government, but the government found alternative or found means to get independent station that are reporting from both sides independently. So the only alternative was to get or to use somebody who has a little issue. Because they can't.
Do you view that as a censorship of free speech?
Not the censorship.
Mhm.
It is fight against press freedom. Because if you say that you uphold the press freedom, you cannot use just a conversation to close down several radio stations across the country for no other reason. And we are saying, in fact, Wilma Smith should be in jail.
Why? For what reason?
Why did you sack him? Why did you sack Wilma Smith?
Alleged corruption act.
Okay, alleged corruption act. Before the president will sack you, he might have found something that is tangible. Because the president has access to multiple security systems across the country, including all other security apparatus. So before the president can take a decision on you, it means that there's an existing issue. So that person should be in jail while ongoing investigation. But we must say who are being accused of corruption cannot be the person to be carried on the court. So it shows that it is very politically engineered. That's one of the reasons. And it's a fight against press freedom. Why should we be fighting? You say you are both press freedom, but you're fighting it. So that is some of the reasons why we are saying that.
So, Mr. Bill, with all this being said, our analysis on critical national issues and that of the manifesto, which has been coined together and have developed the acronym ARREST. What is your final message to the Liberian people and vast majority of the people who are currently listening to you and who will listen to you after we shall have left this platform?
So I want to tell the people that the first thing is that you got to know the difference between arrest and arrest.
Mm-hmm.
So arrest is different from arrest. We are going to do arrest, not arrest. Like somebody could go to arrest somebody that's out.
Yes, arrest.
R-E-S-T, but it's A-R-E-S-T. And the A stands for agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
The R stands for road. The E stands for education.
Mm-hmm.
The S stands for sanitation.
Mm-hmm.
And the T stands for tourism. So we are going to discuss why this 5 cardinal area is very cardinal in terms of our national development. Under the next leadership of Ambassador Joseph Yimabwaka / Jeremiah Bankun, under the United Party government. The reason is very simple. On top of agriculture, I'll tell you what key development happening around the world today. The number one exporter of rice in the world today is India. India has banned the exportation of rice. Recently, 3 days ago, Russia followed suit. I'm not saying we, I'm just going rice. Because we like bread, we normally eat rice. The other countries that will eat we, for all our rice we eat. So, let me tell you now, that's the reason why you see there's a high increase in rice in this country.
I think we just need to be laconic because we are pressed with time and
So we need to first of all have our own way of growing what we eat.
Mm-hmm.
So to do that, we need to invest in agriculture. When you invest in agriculture, it reduce hunger. It will also create job opportunity for the youth and other people who are well schooled in the resident sector. Not only that, if you have to invest in your agriculture, it was also create a means for us to export because we have a better soil for agricultural purposes. We have very good soil. We have a free land that is not too rocky, so we're going to export to other countries. That is fighting. Then after the A, we come to road. We are discussing putting cement to cement right here. We are discussing building a road that will connect city, that is country city, and other areas. For instance, from Sacré-Pied to Alicor, all the way to Zeju. We discuss building quality road, right? Those things are not happening. United Party did it. Today, it was United Party that built from here to Ghana, Guinea border. It was United Party that built from here all the way to Bichana.
Yeah, Chief, you just need to wrap up on these issues. Perhaps in the when campaign shall officially kick out, then we will invite you all the time to come and further elaborate on the arrest platform.
So what we want to say, we invest into education.
Mm-hmm.
Also, after a role, we got education for the young people that we talk about reintegrating the young people who have been destroyed by the coup. That's an input by job. We are government.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to invest into them. When it comes to sanitation, let me tell you one thing. If somebody is not here after the person cannot go to school. If somebody is not here after, they can't have access to anything. So you can't have the whole Moreover is now dirty. Look at how Moreover to give it. You buy 100 1,000, 100 pickers for your campaign activity, but you cannot invest in the church that will pick up the debt at all points. You cannot invest into a sanitation center that the debt will be kept, that will go and dump the debt. All those are not happening. So we are going to invest in the sanitation. We are going to invest in tourism. Liberia has a very rich area for tourism. You just need to invest into international community or all of international partners or friends around the world to come and have a fun time. So I want to say, at this point, we want to say Joseph Nimambuaka, Sarah Jeremiah Baku remain here and the helper in the process to carry on the rescue mission. So I want to say all of our brothers out there who are listening to us to focus on the rescue mission, continue to recruit until capital official OP on Saturday, which is August 5th, so we can start carrying the message in. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. That is the man, an executive member in the Unity Party. He particularly hail from the Youth Congress. He happens to be the Assistant Secretary for Planning, Program and Policies of the Youth Congress of the Opposition Unity Party. We have been talking scores of national issues, and we further transition into the manifesto, but we didn't touch base with the meat of the manifesto, which has been coined by the folks of the Unity Party, and they believe that it is the best tools that is capable of emancipating the Liberian people come 2023. But he, however, expresses high level of optimism in the ability of Joseph Nimambuaka to steer the affairs of Liberia. He also said that he cannot appreciate President Weah for nothing, because President Weah do not deserve to be appreciated. George Weah has failed in every other sectors, and he has made his opinion, and it is about time that the Liberian people listen very attentively as we move towards this electionary time, for us to be able to make the best decision that will reflect on our lives 6 years. If we are okay with the current leadership, we can subscribe to the current leadership. If we think that there is a need for a transition in leadership or a change in leadership, definitely we can alter him. But the mantle of authority lies within the hands of the Liberian people, and it is about time that the Liberian people need to shine their eyes. But we as media practitioners, our job is to ensure that we conscientize the people on what to do. But we cannot sit on this platform to canvass on behalf of any other party. But the Liberian people have their eyes to see, and they know what is best suited for them. So I am K. Lyndon Togba. I have been your host. I am the regular host of the program, The Focal Point. Thanks to all of you who have been watching with us. Thanks to my producer, my technical director, Ambassador Mohammed Vanikan. Since the man came from Ghana, the man continues to flaunt with this ambassador title, and he is currently seated along with me. He will be on camera on Thursday to bring you the program Inside District 18, one of the highly listened to program by residents of District 18. So on this note, this is how I would like to call it a day. Thanks to all of you who have been there, and thanks to the Almighty God. Thank you.